Hi, thanks very much for clicking on the link. My name is Natalie Armstrong-Motin, and welcome to another in the Marketing Monday series. Really appreciate you're here with me. Hope you've got your cup of coffee ready to go. We're going to talk today a little bit about social media marketing. And social media marketing, you've heard me talk about it numerous times. I'm going to talk about it again. It is really, really important for us to get this aspect of our practice development right. So, coffee in hand and information coming. All right. So, social media marketing for mediators and arbitrators. Now, since the launch of the internet and social media platforms, some of the ways in which resolutionists build a practice have changed. Lots of things have stayed the same. For example, our clients still hire us primarily because they know us, they like us, and they trust us. And establishing trust and creating relationships with prospects is still a requirement of our marketing efforts. In fact, that's probably the primary asset that we're building. But lots of things have changed. And so no longer is it sufficient to run an ad in a periodical or on TV to bring new clients our way. Permission based marketing through social media, networking, writing, speaking, and training are absolutely the activities that get our phones ringing and ultimately more money in our bank accounts. And it's via these activities, writing, speaking, training, networking, and social media, that really create connectivity. It's that direct connection. That's what really does it for our practice development. Now, with the internet being stronger and stronger, every single day, the internet has changed the way that we offer our services. The biggest change, obviously, has been that the way clients can research our practice, but also in the way that they use our practice. Online dispute resolution, it really got strong during COVID. Everybody's in a Zoom meeting. That's fine. That's excellent. Now things are, starting to loosen up a bit. So you might be in a hybrid situation. You might still be online. You might be back into a face-to-face situation. Everybody's practice is a bit different. And so that use of the internet, that's something that is sort of ever evolving. But the internet, that is the static portion of our practice development, is what we're talking about today. And that is that clients can research us. They can do the social proofing about our practices that they need to have formed up in their decision-making paradigm. Let me go back. Social proofing, in case you aren't familiar with that phrase, is something that we all do. I do it all the time. You do it all the time. And that's where you go onto, for example, Google. You Google someone and you're looking for the best coffee shop, or you're looking for the best plumber, right? You're looking for the closest diner, the mechanic near you, or somebody that specializes in your type of landscape, right? That's social proofing. So we kind of have a sense about what it is we're looking for. And then we go onto Google and we find information about that vendor, that supplier, that service person that verifies that we were correct in our thinking that that would be a good service provider for us. And people do it to us as mediators and arbitrators all the time. They want to log into Google. They want to type in your name, the information about your practice, your geography, your specialty, what have you. Then when your name gets kicked back above the fold on that page one, they know that they've got the right person for the right job, right? So that's what social proof is. All right. So now I'm going to work under the assumption for the rest of this dialogue that I'm having with you that you already have a professional website. You don't, you really, really need one. So I'm going to assume that you have your website, that you already belong to your primary, secondary target markets, associations, and organizations. Those are not the organizations that we belong to for our own edification, the mediation or arbitration or ADR associations and organizations. These are the associations that your clients belong to, right? That you on a fairly regular basis network within those organizations and associations where your clients are, that you write for them, you speak for them, you train them. All of those kinds of things are being done already, or you're beefing up your practice to be able to accommodate doing those kinds of activities. So those things done and dusted. And now we need to concentrate on integrating social media marketing activities to optimize the asset of your website or the activities, the writing, speaking, training that you're doing for your prospective clients. And I know that it's really easy to get overwhelmed by all of the choices of social media platforms. There's a lot of choices to make, and so I think to make it easier, we can kind of break it down by the kind of client that you'd like to have. If what you're looking for are represented clients, that are attorneys or law firms, municipalities, corporations, that kind of thing, then LinkedIn is definitely where you want to be. If, though, your practice is being developed around unrepresented clients, then you might want to choose a different platform. You can definitely be on LinkedIn. It's a great social media platform, but you might also think about looking at where your folks are. Do they live primarily on Facebook? You need to be on Facebook. Are they big fans of TikTok? You need to be on TikTok. Instagram, if that's what they're really involved in, you need to be on Instagram. But for most of us, LinkedIn is the best platform. And the other challenge is, of course, that our clients, our consumers, they know that there's a lot of different choices for neutrals and for resolutionists, right? And they're going to be shopping on those platforms for services like yours or similar to yours. And so we really want to be able to stand out. We really want to differentiate our practice from everybody else's. So whatever platform you want to use, that's fine, as long as it leads to direct connection with your primary, secondary, or tertiary target market contacts. So you want to use the platform that your target market is most comfortable using. Your preference, sadly, comes secondary. If they're on Facebook, you need to get really good at Facebook. If they're on LinkedIn, you need to get really good at LinkedIn, right? We just have to be where they are, fish where the fish are. Twitter, Reddit, all of them. It applies right across the board. So starting with the basics, and kind of regardless of the social media platform that you choose to use, your profile can either encourage the viewer to keep clicking and reading about you, or it might just do the opposite and send them sort of running away to your direct competition. Prospective clients don't very often study your profile. They make snap decisions, snap judgments about who you are, what you do, how you do it, and for whom. And an effective profile on your social media platform really, truly can make all the difference. So first, your screen name. Your screen name should be either your name or your practice name. Depends on the kind of business that you're building. And ideally, your screen name should be the same on every platform that you occupy. If you're only dealing with one, it's a lot easier. But if you've decided you want to try and manage multiple platforms, keep your screen name the same across those platforms if you can. When we're talking about screen names, one note of caution: this is not the place to use a trendy or cutesy name. I can't think of another word. This isn't the place for that. In fact, it can actually harm your professional image. This is business. Go forward with a screen name that is as professional. You don't want to do yourself any damage. If you've already got profiles on multiple platforms and your screen name is different on every one, do a little research, see if you can change them out. I know that it's not easy and can, in fact, be a little bit painful even. The longer you wait, the worse it gets. So today's a good day to go look at your different social media platforms. Disactivate the ones that you're not using. Disactivate the platforms that you don't think are comprised of your primary target market, and really focus on where your people are. So next is your avatar. Your avatar is on every platform kind of the same, and that's the little round photograph of you. That's called your avatar. And in some platforms, it's a square. Most it's a circle. But That's really what you want to focus on. You looking like you look right now, and how you look when you're at work. So unless you're hearing pet custody cases, this is not the place for a photograph of you and your dog playing at the beach, right? This is what you look like in a mediation or an arbitration room. That's what that photo is. You want to have a photo that is happy, professional, well lit, and consisting primarily of your face. Now, you don't have to hire a professional photographer for headshots. We all have smartphones. We all have friends. We can, get these photos done, just amongst ourselves. You don't have to hire somebody else to do it, but you really do want to concentrate on happy, professional, well lit, and primarily your face. Let's see. Next on my list, be sure that you take advantage of the opportunity to get a vanity URL, especially on LinkedIn. In the upper right-hand corner of your profile page, you can click on the Edit Public Profile or URL. You want to choose a URL that is either your name or your company's name, but that way it's customized, and every time somebody looks at your contact page or they click on a link, it doesn't have those random, I think it's 20 or 21 letters and numbers. It has your name or your practice name. You want to do that. Now, if the platform you choose offers space for a tagline, you definitely want to use it and use it wisely, use it carefully. And this is the time where you really want to have a short statement about you or your practice that is positive, that has a benefit orientation. A good example would be, I empower families, right? And it has positive active verbs. And they're generally, a tagline is generally one sentence or phrase that tells viewers who you are, what you do, and how you do it. And then I also want to mention that you might consider avoiding graphics in this space on your social media profile. Emojis, it's not really the place for that. Or use of words like guru, right? These kind of grandiose terms. It's fine if somebody else says it about you. It's not something you should probably be saying about yourself. All right. Platforms like LinkedIn and Facebook, they also provide your contact information, right? So you can click on it, or a prospective client can click on it, and then they can read your website, your phone number, your address, your geography, whatever, your contact information. And the goal of listing yourself on social media is so that people can find you. I'm always astonished by how many people just don't post their contact information. If somebody finds you on social media and they're interested in hiring you, make that possible by giving them your web address, by giving them your phone number, by giving, that kind of contact information. Don't cut yourself off at the knees by not including that. The whole point of existing there is to make contact. So be sure you take advantage of it. Now, I know that a lot of us right now are working from home still, so that's fine. I understand completely that you might not want to post your home address. I'm not suggesting that you do, but at a minimum, go ahead and post your company's name, your city, your state, your phone number, your website, links to your other social media accounts if you have them, and your direct business email. I would say it's just not the best image, not the best look to have a really professional everything else, and then on your contact information, send people to a free Hotmail, Yahoo, or Gmail address. And I know that a lot of people say, yeah, but when I put my business email address on there, I'll get a bunch of spam. Well, you might get one or two, but the thing is, you're going to get that spam in your personal account, on your Gmail, Yahoo, or Hotmail account, in the same way you would your business account. And if it's viable business, you want to have that information right away. If it's spam, you're just going to delete it from your business address in the same way you would have deleted it from your personal address. But by putting a professional business email address on your contact page, you reinforce to people who are thinking about hiring you that you take this seriously. This is your business. This is your profession. And you have a professional email address. use it. There's also the idea of priming, and that is reminding people over and over, this is my email address, this is my web, this is my email, this is my web, this is my email, this is my web. So let's see, I've got a question in the comments. What if someone doesn't want to have a picture? You don't have to use a personal picture of yourself. So if you don't want to use your image, you can use an image that represents who you are, what you do, or how you do it. So it could be something as simple as just the word mediate or just the word arbitrate. Also on LinkedIn now, in your avatar space, you can, from a mobile device, add a video that comes up when people look at your profile on LinkedIn. They open your profile page, that avatar shows movement in video. So if you don't want to show your personal face, I can understand that. You can show a video that takes people through your services, what you do, how you do. You can have music. I think it can be up to 30 seconds. So take advantage of that. And the same is going to be true for the banner behind your avatar. We really want to take advantage of that space. So that big space, on every platform, don't leave that blank. That's really, really valuable real estate. And in that space, you want to put your corporate colors, your logo. Again, you could put your tagline, you can put your contact information, you can put something about your services, who you are, what you do, how you do it, etc. But really take advantage of that real estate and don't just leave it to the default, right? All right. So again, for most resolutionists, LinkedIn is the platform. That's just what it is for our industry. It's a great way to connect. It's a great way to establish credibility, authority, and availability. You want to make best use of messages to invite people to connect. Once they've connected, thank them for connecting. You can offer to be a resource for them. You can offer to provide them something of value. That's what permission-based marketing is. And all of that connecting, contacting, communicating, that's what starts the all-important dialogue that creates the trust and starts building business, right? Again, the reason that we're all there. You want to regularly spend time expanding your contacts by connecting with colleagues and clients and growing your network. And you can have a couple of choices on almost every platform. Again, you can upload your database so that you can connect with those people that already know you. You can also find new contacts, new networking opportunities. You do want to sort of max that out at every opportunity that you can. It's Vegas odds. More is generally better. You can connect with previous clients. Some of us, not all of us, but a few of us can take advantage of the recommendations on LinkedIn. And that's where you get, to give a recommendation, a testimonial, or ask for a testimonial. But I would caution that most of us have a practice for which that is not appropriate. So go there sparingly. But you can find groups, you can find jobs, you can find events, you can find learning, you can find all the different kinds of things. So spend a little time, watch a YouTube tutorial, call me, I'll walk you through it. There's so much good stuff on every one of these platforms. And it does just take time. There is a learning curve, I understand, to click all the buttons, toggle all the switches, and figure out how everything integrates one thing with another. So again, I'll just say that connectivity is the key, an authentic connection with another person. That's why you exist on that platform. That's what you're looking for. And it's all about building that sense of trust, that they can trust you with a case, they can trust you with their client, they can trust you with their issue, their dispute. And that, essentially, regardless of your choice for social media platform, you want to log on to your profile, look at it with a critical eye, update your bio. You want it to be in first person, not third person, first person. Again, you want that connectivity with the viewer and the reader. Update your image, update your banner ad, make sure that your contact information is complete and correct. It might be that since the last time you put in the information, you've closed your Twitter account. Be sure that you remove that, right? Keep it current, keep it correct, right? And always remember that the goal is to make it easy for people to connect with you. Now let's talk about posts for a minute. Social media platforms all have different preferences. They have different algorithms, so they have different preferences. For most of us, there's really no need to write and post a white paper. So we're not talking about huge amounts of research. Your content can be a quote from any source that you think your prospective client would enjoy or appreciate. It can be a graphic, it can be an opinion piece, it can be information about an upcoming event. It can be an invitation, a recommendation, a referral. I mean, there's so many things. Funny holidays, all of those things are an opportunity to post something. Something complimentary, always good. You want to use humor sparingly. Humor is one of those things that can be really easily misunderstood. If you're going to use humor, gently use it in a self-deprecating way. But again, I would sort of say that's a really tough one. Humor is hard. Let's see. There's a question in the chat. Do you think it's okay if I share articles written by others? So that's exactly what we were going to talk about next, and that is the difference between curation and creation. So if you are not creatively inclined and you need to make a post, you can definitely use an article written by someone else, or a study written by someone else, or talk about a book written by somebody else. You could do a book report. You can talk about a video that someone else has recorded. You can talk about lots of things, write about lots of things, and definitely that somebody else has created. When you do that, of course, you absolutely positively have to give full attribution and the original source URL. So if you're going to use someone else's article, you can create a graphic that represents it, and then you put in the article and you give the author full credit, and you want to put in the link that is the original website address or the original source URL for where you found that information, so that there's never any question about plagiarism. You're always giving absolute attribution, right? Articles that are written by your either direct or perceived competition are something I would stay clear of. We work really hard to get people to read our posts, and you want to keep those people as clients or prospective clients for yourself. And so if you're going to post something that is written by another neutral, another mediator, another arbitrator, you want to use it from an author who is not in your same space, either geographically or from a specialty, but you can definitely use articles from other people. You can always share what other people have put up. Again, that's not the strongest position, but you can definitely share. And so, for example, on almost every platform, there's a search field, and you can search hashtag mediate or hashtag construction defect or hashtag whatever your keyword specialty words and phrases might be. And you'll find lots of different articles and posts by other people who have put them under that hashtag label. And then you can find those posts and share them. Again, just share them in such a way that you're not driving business to your direct competition. The stronger way to post is, of course, to create. Again, we don't all have the time or the inclination or the motivation to do that, and that's okay. If you've got something to write, if you've got something that you want to record on a video, if you're that kind of person, that's definitely preferable. But if not, you can do a little research, use Google Alerts, PR Newswire, lots of different places where you can do the research and find those articles. Again, search your own social media platform, use a hashtag, and you can find those keyword aggregators that will help you out. So, and I understand that, one of the biggest challenges is just finding the time. I get it. It's not easy. Whether you're creating or curating, or you're looking at all of your different platforms and trying to figure out how to optimize them, it's a challenge to find that time. And so you can post content every day. You can post content 2-3 times a week, whatever you think resonates most with your audience. We usually do it for clients 3 times a week. sometimes 2, sometimes 5, but most often it's about 3 times per week. Some of my clients have great engagement. They post 5 days a week, sometimes even 6 days a week, but they have a really sophisticated viewing consumer that really likes that and has told us that they like it by the number of views, clicks, shares, comments. So we know that that's what they want. So we started out with 2 or 3 posts per week, and we slowly over time have ratcheted that up. I'm not saying that you need to do that, but you do need to look at the statistics on your social media and try to find the sweet spot for your viewers and your readers. All right. If you are one of those kinds of people who mediates Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you're finding it difficult to set aside time to make posts, almost every Google search that you can come back with will give you information about HubSpot, Hootsuite, Canva. There's lots of different ways. Even on LinkedIn, you can create a draft. On YouTube, you can create a draft. You can schedule it in advance. Canva, you can get the content planner and schedule in advance. Hootsuite, HubSpot, all of those. You can schedule in advance. So you could sit down on a weekend, spend an entire day, develop everything that you want to release for the next week or even 2 weeks out or a month out. And then you don't have to worry about it and come back to it later in the week. You can just go back to mediating and arbitrating, and everything is just moving right along, right? So again, HubSpot, Hootsuite, you can use an Excel spreadsheet. There's lots of different choices, but it is important to sit down and have a plan, to sit down and have a strategy and say, on this day, I'm going to post this. On this day, I'm going to post this. Next week, I'll post this. The holiday is here, so I'll be posting this. Make it really work for you and for your readers. But, using software to post and release and time release those, it's a really great way to help you balance things out. Let's talk a little bit about getting followers. Followers, I've had people call and say, yeah, can you help me build my YouTube channel to 10,000 followers? Well, sure, I can, but is that really what you want? Wouldn't it be better to have 100 really good prospective clients as opposed to 10,000 people who have little or no interest in hiring your mediation or arbitration services? So you want to think carefully about what your goal is. And if your goal is just to get followers, that's not difficult. To get really highly qualified followers, that's much more important. But getting followers of any number for whatever your reason is, it just takes time. It takes time and it takes quality posts. You just have to be in it for the long haul. You want to be sure that you, as a neutral, aren't out just saying, follow me, subscribe, follow me, putting out a neon sign in that way. That's a bit off-putting for our industry. Instead, it's better to just share lots of good information on a really regular basis. You can, of course, within your email signature, you can put in links to your profile, links to your YouTube channel. You can put in those links, and in that way, just sort of very quietly remind people that you're available on social media, you're available on LinkedIn, you have a YouTube channel, but it doesn't really just sort of shove it into somebody's face. So we don't want to do that. Yeah, that's really followers. It would be extremely bad form to hire one of the services that says we can get you 10,000 followers for, $500. Don't do that. That's really bad form. So, but now listen, the point is, in all of this, I don't want you to get lost or overwhelmed by all the platforms and then not use any of them. Choose one and do it really well. And then you can add another one when you get comfortable, when you feel good about one platform, you can add it. It can get more complicated. There is a learning curve to each of them, but choose one. Do it really well. Do it in a way that your competition isn't or can't do it, and your practice will stand out. That will become part of your differentiation. That will become part of your brand. And remember always that the reason you're there is to build authentic connections with the people most likely to hire you or to give your information as a referral. That's the whole purpose of existing on these sites. We like to get information back from people that we're connected with. We like reading their posts. We like staying up to date in that way. But your your portion of it is to provide something of value in return, right? Something that is true, something that is authentic, something that builds your credibility and your authority. And that's the whole idea. Yeah, I've got a comment here that says, sometimes I get agitated when people ask to click on the subscribe button. I could not agree more. We all know what the subscribe button looks like. We all know whether or not we find that content valuable. If we find it valuable, we hit subscribe. If we don't find it valuable, we back out of the video and we move on to the next piece of content, and we don't subscribe and we don't hit the like. Now, as a person who has these kinds of channels on YouTube, do I love getting new subscribers? Of course I do. Do I love comments? Absolutely. Do I love the thumbs up? You bet. And the reason that that's important to me is because I can then better fine tune the direction that I'm creating content in, right? So when you subscribe based on that video, I know, that's the kind of content that my people want. When you hit the thumbs up, when you comment, excellent. That helps me to do a better job for you in future. And so the interaction that you can provide creators is important, because as a creator, it does let me know what I'm doing right and what I'm not getting right. And then I can do a better job for you. So if you're inclined, support that person's path, help them find their way to better content by being interactive with them. Before I go, I do want to say there are a few things that don't work on social media platforms, and they are primarily spending lots of money on ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, those kinds of things. We really don't want to do that. Oh, somebody just subscribed. Thank you. Very kind of you. So those kinds of ads, they generally don't work for us. The exception will be if you're looking for unrepresented clients and you very, very carefully craft an ad that is targeted just to a small, specific group of people that are truly most likely to hire you. And you'd want to put those ads. So for example, if you had a family and divorce mediation practice, you would want specifically to put those ads in the self-help groups or the family groups or the co-parenting groups. You'd want to very carefully spend your time and money just in those places and not do a big, broad ad that, is for the general public. That's not the best use of our time and money and efforts. So that's really what I wanted to talk to you about today. I hope that this was helpful. Social media marketing is imperative, but it's also so much fun. And if, as you're watching this video, you wrote down a question, or you've got a concern, or you didn't understand what I was talking about, or you want more information about what I was talking about, as always, ask a question in the comments, reach out to me in a DM, connect with me, phone me, let me know how I can best help you. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The better we do as an industry, the better we do as individual practitioners. And the better we do as individual practitioners, the better we do as an industry. It's a rising tide lifts all ships. So that's it for me and for Marketing Monday. Appreciate that you joined me. Be good humans.